All right. Today we have the amazing Andi Hess with us. Andi is a certified hypnotherapist and rapid results coach who helps ambitious women leave behind ordinary life challenges and step into the extraordinary. With a background that includes decades of experience in productivity, leadership, and personal growth, Andi specializes in showing her clients how to rewire their brains for rapid results. Her unique methodology helps women overcome overwhelm, procrastination, and self doubt to create lives of energy, clarity, and success. Awesome. Welcome, Andi.
Thank you, Whitney. I'm so excited to share this with y'all today. Um, and I know a whole bunch of my people have already asked me for the recording, so I'll be talking to them too as we go. But success on autopilot, that's what I'm going to talk about today. And how great does that sound, right? 3 simple steps to getting rapid results in any area of your life that you want, any area of life that you want those rapid results in. So I'd love to start with just asking everyone, including if you're on the recording, to the presenter window is not moving for me, so I'm going to have to use that one, to take a moment to decide what you would love to get from this session today, this hour that we're here together. Take a minute to set an intention. So when you leave this experience, first of all, how do you want to feel? Second, what do you want to learn? And if you're here with me live, totally optional. You can drop it in the chat. Let me know. But I just think it's really important when we come together to do things like this, or even if you're watching on the replay, that you know what you want to get out of it, right? We have a tendency to throw things on in the background and just kind of not really pay attention. So setting an intention, knowing what you hope to get out of it, you'll find out is one of the very first steps to getting what you want. So my intention today is to teach you my 3 simple steps for rapid results. And I want to show you how you can use these steps to get results in any area of your life. A lot of times what I see with my clients and people who talk to me is that they've got this down in one area of their life and totally don't even remember that they could be applying it to something else. People will talk about being a really good like manifester or something like that, but only in, one area, not in another. So when you really learn this, you will learn that it can be applied to anything you want to do. So Whitney already told you a little bit about me. I'm just going to add a few fun facts because I think it makes things more fun when you know that I'm like human. So as I mentioned, or as she mentioned in that bio, I was a productivity consultant. That's how I started my career. I was absolutely obsessed with hitting my goals, with defining what I wanted and just getting them at all costs. And so I checked off my entire bucket list by the time I was 37. And then I crashed because if you finished everything that you want to do, what do you do next? I had not anticipated that being such a challenge for me. So definitely not something I complain about. I'm so thrilled that I was able to have all of those experiences. I'm thrilled that I, proved to myself that I could do all those things, but it really presented a new challenge for me in like, okay, well, what do you do in your second act? So another little fun fact, like I said, I'm a hypnotherapist. So when I go to my favorite place or my special place or my relaxing place in hypnosis, it is this beautiful Austro-Hungarian cafe that I love to visit in Sarajevo, Bosnia. That's my favorite place. So highly, highly, highly recommend Bosnia to anybody who ever asks me. But if you've been to Bosnia, definitely let me know. And that's where I go. A lot of people go to a forest. A lot of people go to like a beach. Nope, I'm in this like 1895, cafe in Sarajevo. And I am obsessed with Eurovision. It is a very, very, very cheesy, ridiculous song contest that they have in Europe. You might have seen the movie Eurovision. I wish that was a exaggeration, but it is not. It is so right on. those of us who loved Eurovision before that, we actually used that to tide us over because there was no Eurovision in 2020 because of COVID. So we were like, oh my gosh, this is actually accurate enough to give us that thing. But it's super dorky. We know it's dorky. It's supposed to be dorky. And one day that's kind of the last thing that's left on my old bucket list is I'd love to go to a Eurovision contest when it is held in one of my favorite countries. So that's enough about me. Now I'm going to teach you. There's only 3 steps to success. No matter what you want, there are only 3 steps to making it happen for you. So the first one is decide what you want. The second one is train your brain to get it for you. And the third is surrender the how. So I'm going to talk a little bit about each of these steps here and walk you through that. So obviously, right, decide what you want. That sounds really simple. But when I say decide what you want, I mean really actually what you want, what your soul desires, not what you think you want, not what your parents told you to want when you were growing up, not what you see on TV, not what you think will make people like you, what you actually want. Because here's the thing, and like the picture of the dog on here, right? Like that dog has no question in his mind what he wants. He wants that bone, right? And what we often do is if we do know what we want, we're kind of afraid to want it. And so we water it down. Or we think we should want something. And so we have a whole list of things that we kind of sort of want because maybe we think that'll get us there. Or we say we want something that actually doesn't appeal to us at all. And all of these things, all of these ways of wanting that are not like true burning desire, they really, really confuse your subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind is a symbolic, being. It thinks in pictures, it thinks in symbols. It does not understand you giving it multiple symbols that don't have the attached correct emotions to it. So when you look at this dog, like you can see the emotion. There's only one emotion, right? This dog is not like, okay, I'm going to get this bone. And then after this bone, I'm going to go eat my food. And then after that, I'm going to play with my toy. And I want all these things at once, right? That is not what is going through this dog's mind. It needs to be that crystal clear. So it sounds really easy to say, decide what you want, but most of us don't take the time to do this. Now, you're going to hear me say this a lot about hypnosis and the methods that I use, but the really cool thing is that you don't actually need to figure this out. Your subconscious mind knows. It knows what you actually want. This is why it's probably been really hard to achieve a goal that you knew you were only kind of lukewarm on, because your subconscious mind knows that it's not something you actually desperately desire, right? And so it will actually stop you. It will go looking for other things and it will stop you from achieving that. But the flip side of that is using hypnosis, your subconscious already knows. So you don't need to figure it out. There's a way to tap into into the subconscious and bring it up from that so that you can experience that knowing, that real, true, what lights you up sort of feeling. So this is the simplest starting point, but it is often the one that we really mess up. There's a quote, I believe it's in Think and Grow Rich, where he talks about you must really want one thing and not want a million other things all at the same time in, the same way. You need to know what it is that you're actually going for. So, not to belabor the point, but this can be easier than you think. I also want to take just a moment to point out that I put decide on purpose. So a lot of the time, what we are thinking we need to do is like find our purpose, as if we like lost it somehow at a, baseball game, and it'll be sitting in the lost and found if we just dig hard enough, right? The truth is you're capable of doing anything that you decide you want to do. You can fulfill your purpose in probably 10 different ways. So it's really up to you to just simply decide, to decide that to decide that this is the way for now. It's not an all or nothing. It's not a forever. It's for now. This is what I would like. This is what I'm going to move towards. So decide is a very purposeful word there as well. I think that's something that stops a lot of us. So now we're going to go to the second step. So once you know what you want, right? Most of us fall into some form of planning or anxiety or overwhelm or all sorts of things. But in reality, you can just train your brain to get it for you. So I'm going to show you a video. We'll see if it loads on this slide here. And if not, I've got it up. And there we go. I'm going to show you a video. So if you've seen this before, don't give the fun away, but watch this video and follow its directions.
This is an awareness test. How many passes does the team in white make?
Go!
The answer is 13. But did you see the moonwalking bear?
Okay, so that was an ad for cyclists there, but the point, right? Have either of you seen this one before?
I've
No.
seen one similar, and I was actually looking for it, and I noticed like the big guy, like as he was walking out, and I was like, I don't think I saw that big guy, but I still missed like part of it, even looking for it.
Yeah, exactly. And I love this. I used to show it in my classes when I was a professor because it just so perfectly illustrates the point that your awareness determines your reality, right? So again, with the idea that, what's out there just is, and I have no control over it, and, I've got to go find this thing or achieve this thing, it's out there. All right. So one of the, I wish I had, now I'm thinking, I wish I had a slide of this. If you've seen Finding Nemo, and you remember the scene where Marlin and Dory come up to the East Australian current. And so there's like a current on this top of the screen, right? There's just a flow. And the water in the current is always flowing. And they're going to get into the current and hop a ride, right? And the current's going to make them go faster. Everything you want, anything you could think of that you want, already exists. It's in the world. If you want money, you're not asking like the mint to go print you brand new money. If you want to call in your soulmate, you're not like creating a soulmate out of like molecules, right? If you want a nice house or a car or something like that, those things already exist. And even if it's like a brand new build, the pieces of it already exist. That you're not actually creating anything from scratch, right? The things that you want already exist. Your job is to put yourself into the current. That current is a current of abundance, right? This is what they talk about when they say raise your vibration. You need to get into the higher vibration. It's like that. There's a frequency at which the things that you want are in the world. It's like the moonwalking bear. It's in the world. Your brain has something called the reticular activating system. You might have heard of it, the RAS, that determines where your attention goes. And so if you're looking for a moonwalking bear, you find the moonwalking bear. if you're looking for how many passes the white team makes, you're gonna probably do well enough counting the passes. And I know that I cut off a little of it because the title here completely gives it away. It says Moonwalking Bear, so I had to cover that up. But it doesn't take away from the fact that you still probably missed that. So it's really important to understand that when you are trying to achieve something you want, when you're trying to get something you want, it is not that you're creating it out of thin air. It is that it already exists and you need to train your brain to go find it. If you want abundance, you need to train your brain to find abundance in your everyday life. If you want love, you need to train your brain to find the love in your everyday life. These things are here. It's just a matter of whether or not you see them. And if you're out there looking for a moonwalking bear, like that's something you need. I'm going to have a party on Friday and I want a moonwalking bear. You're going to have a whole lot better chance of finding the one walking past you if you've trained your brain to get it for you. Now, your brain is already getting you whatever it is you're thinking about most of the time. For most of us, that is what we don't want. I'm so frustrated. I don't like sitting in this traffic. I don't want traffic. Well, you're thinking about traffic and your brain's going to get you traffic. You're going to notice the traffic. Oh my gosh, these bills, they're just piling up. Well, now you're thinking about bills. You're going to be noticing and focusing on every bill, right? And you've probably heard this before or some version of this. And change is hard, particularly changing your brain. So I'm going to give you a little bit of a story. I'm going to stop share for a second because you don't need to look at the YouTube screen this whole time. So for me, I was really, really disorganized when I was a kid, and particularly I wanted to be productive. No surprise to me looking back now that I became a productivity consultant, but everything seemed so hard. There we go. Sorry. So everything seemed so hard that I was just obsessed with finding the easiest, quickest way to do anything. Efficiency, right? That's what productivity is. And when I was 10, I found a cassette tape in a garage sale. And it was a self-hypnosis tape on time management. And I was just like instantly obsessed with the idea that there was a shortcut to changing your brain. And not only that, but like I could do it.
Andi, I can't hear you now for some reason.
That's weird.
Oh, now it's back. Okay.
Okay. Where did I lose you?
Just a few seconds.
Okay. So I found this tape at a garage sale and I was just like absolutely obsessed with the idea that there was a shortcut to changing your brain. And not only was it a shortcut, but like I could do it at night when I was sleeping. That seems like the ultimate shortcut of all shortcuts. Can't get easier than that, right? And so I listened to that tape every single night before bed until I was like 21. And then I lost it and I like literally had to wait for the internet to happen before I could go find it again and repurchase it and everything like that. But and that was the start, by the way. That was the start of my journey with hypnosis, was just that you could do this with anything. But that tape reprogrammed the way that I thought about time, the way that I thought about time management, the way that I thought about productivity, the way that I thought about prioritization. And I didn't even know it was doing it. It's funny. I actually went back and bought another copy just a couple of months ago and listened to it now as a certified hypnotherapist, and notice some of the things, some of the core values that I have now because I listened to that for so many years. And so here's the thing. Here's what I learned, right? Your thoughts are creating your reality. But the problem is that most of our thoughts are subconscious. We have like 60,000 thoughts a day at the low end of the estimation, right? We have like 60,000 thoughts a day. And you don't actively think all throughout the day. You're not choosing those thoughts. Most of us have an internal monologue running that seems slightly out of our control. And it isn't actually out of our control, but it is out of our awareness usually. And when the thoughts just happen on their own, you become very reactive, right? This is what a trigger is somebody says something to you and you have a reaction. You're not even sure why, what it came from. You have, it's what I call the anxiety thought spiral. Something happens, you have an immediate thought about it. That thought drops literal chemicals from your brain into your body, usually adrenaline or cortisol or something like that. And it's just a cycle, and it's a subconscious cycle, okay? So you don't choose how you think about that thing that makes you mad. So the key is that there's a process that we can use to change what the automatic thoughts are. We're able to rewire that so that instead of being triggered, instead of reacting without being able to think about it, that you're actually able to choose the response that you have. This is a subconscious process, so it makes sense to use another subconscious process, i.e. hypnosis, to repattern that, right? And this is the quickest and easiest way that you can do it. You can do it consciously, but it takes a lot of repetition. If you've ever tried to establish a new habit, especially one that's against some old habit that you've, like the opposite of an old habit, killing a bad habit to bring in a new habit, the amount of effort it takes to do this consciously, because you have to be aware and catch your thoughts, is really intense. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't do that. The best plan of attack is to always use all the tools in your toolbox, right? But hypnosis should be a tool in your regular rotation. The conscious mind is something like 12% of the mind. 88% is your subconscious mind. You don't even know what's in there. And so you are fighting this subconscious database of knowledge, of habits, of beliefs, of all sorts of things that you don't even know what's in there consciously. And that's just not the most efficient way to do it. So what you can do, we already talked about this, the subconscious knows what's in there, so you don't have to figure it out. You're able to use the subconscious process to decide what you want to program in, and then to allow the subconscious mind to tell you how to reprogram it and repattern it. So again, it can be easy. This can be easy. You do not have to try very hard at this. You can allow the subconscious to do what it's good at. And you know what? If I bought a brand new phone and I wanted to access Facebook on it, but it didn't have the Facebook app, I wouldn't get mad at the phone, right? Because it doesn't know how to do the thing that I want to do. I would install the right program. And as soon as I have the right program installed, it's easy to do the thing that I want to do. And hypnosis is very much like that. So it's just this tool that you can use, because most of these problems are subconscious processes. It is a tool that you can use that matches that subconscious process to literally make your results so much quicker, so much easier. Now, let's go to the third step. The third thing you need to do, the last step to rapid results, this is the one no one wants to hear, is surrender the how. So if you were going to take a trip, you went through the first part, you decided that you want to go to London, right? And you've done the things you need to do to train your brain to get it for you, and you're now sitting on the plane to London from, somewhere in the US. How much difference does it make for you if the pilot reroutes himself a little bit to avoid turbulence, and maybe it adds 10 minutes to your trip, but it made it smoother, or this or that? How much difference does it actually make to you how you get to London if you're going to land in London, right? Now, there's limits to that, obviously. You don't want him to take a much shorter route that is just crazy and everybody gets, hurt. I don't know the word I was thinking of, but everybody gets actually injured. That's the word, injured, on the route. So there are exceptions to that. But generally speaking, you don't actually care. Maybe you have a moment of disappointment because you didn't get the right view you wanted out the window or something like that. But for the most part, you'd be happy just to get to London. That's your destination. Now, say I want $1 million. For some reason, for everybody, it's always $1 million. Now, obviously, there are certain ways I would not want to receive that. I don't want someone close to me to die so I can collect their insurance policy, right? That's kind of the quintessential be careful what you wish for. But for the most part, I wouldn't care too much if I made that, I want to make $1 million through my business. I wouldn't care so much if I made it through product A or product B. Or maybe halfway through, I come up with a brand new idea and you know what? It's an instant hit. Or I'm, if somebody gave me an idea I've never even thought of, and all of a sudden there's like, money in my bank account. If I wanted $50,000 and I planned on doing it by booking 3 new clients, but all of a sudden a book I wrote 2 years ago goes viral and I get a royalties check, I'm not going to care how that came. Now, there may be other reasons why you'd want the money to come from a client, like maybe you're trying to do something that's personal growth related. But generally speaking, once you decide what you really want, we get so wrapped up in, I've decided that this is the thing that I want. I want $50,000 in my bank account this month from my business. And I have decided that I'm going to do that through launching product A. And we get so wrapped up in what product A and that launch looks like and what it means and how to make that happen, again, with the efforting, with the trying. I gotta make this work. This is the thing. I gotta make this work. That we've completely taken out any opportunity to notice the moonwalking bear, right? the millions of other opportunities that money could come at you through, right? So again, I think this is something we hear a lot. But it is not something that we really know how to do. I think this is where most people struggle. There's struggles in all of these, but I think the people who do this work fairly regularly, who know these things, still struggle with these. And again, right, using subconscious processes help us be open. When you've trained your brain, when you've done that step, that second step, when you've trained your brain that this is what I want, and you begin to know that this works because you've seen it happen over and over and over again, when you begin to truly believe that it's on its way, which you can train your brain to do that with hypnosis, because again, everything you want is already out there and you don't know where you're going to run into it, right? If I want that $50,000, it might come from that client, but it also might be that I go meet with that client and he calls me back and says, hey, I'm not ready right now, but when we were talking, I realized you're a perfect fit for my friend who's absolutely ready now, right? So if I'm holding on so tight to, oh my gosh, it's got to come through this client, I'm not doing my best, right, in that meeting. I'm not relaxed. I'm not, completely focused on him. It doesn't flow from me. There's a constricted energy. And so, there's this idea that this one has to work. This client could solve everything for you. This person, I'm holding on so tightly because this is how I pay my rent this month, right? That does not serve you in being your best. And so when you can realize that you have no idea how that's going to come to you, so you're not surrendering the what, you're surrendering the how, you're able to then just go about every single thing that you're doing from this state of peace and calm and being your best, and just really being present in the moment, because now you're sitting in the moment and you're looking for the moonwalking bear, right? You're not worried about missing it. So that's the third step. 3 simple, not easy steps that you can take to 10x your results in any area of your life, most of us know how to do this in one area of our life, at least. Some people are really good doing it with finances. Some people are really good doing it with like their business. Some people are really good doing it in relationships. Some people are really good just in, maybe they're in community leadership, and you can feel, right? You can feel the difference. There's no emotion attached to it. I know exactly what I want. Like in this area of life, it's easy. So for any area of life where it is not easy for you right now, I would like to suggest that you take a look at that area and ask yourself, do I really know what I want? Is it actually what I want? Do I just want it because I think this is the way I will get to this other thing that I actually truly want? Right? So that with the surrender the how, right? Just this client. Do I actually only want this particular client because I think this client is going to get me to this goal that I have for right now, that it's going to, pay my rent this month, or it's going to, be the one thing that I need that puts everything together? Are you wanting what you actually want? Have you trained your brain to look for it? Have you trained your brain to look for what you don't want? Or are you focused on what you actually do want? Have you put yourself into that current to allow what you do want to appear in your life? Because it is walking down the street next to you already. It just is. 100%. All you need to do is know that that's what you're looking for. And finally, have you surrendered how you get it? And if this part feels difficult for you, go back and check number one. Go back and decide what you want. Because like I said, right, it could be that I think that this client is what I want, but it's because I need, to pay this bill. And so it really is, it's a how instead of an actual end goal. And if you're holding on too much to the how, then you miss all of the other possibilities that are available to you. So, any questions before I move on? Any questions on the 3 steps?
No.
Fantastic. Well then, I have an invitation for you today. If you'd like to go deeper into this work with me, I would like to invite you to join Be Limitless. I am running a brand new program in September. It starts on Sunday, September 1st, where I'm going to go much, much deeper into each of these 3 steps and combine it with personalized advice and actually using the hypnosis tools that I talked about today. So it's going to be 4 weeks long. Let me move that. So there are 5 Sundays in September, but we're going to do 4. So taking a middle week off. But it'll be 4 weeks starting in September. These are going to be Sunday at 5:30 Phoenix time, which is currently Pacific time. So 5:30 Pacific, 8:30 Eastern. In each session, going to give a core lesson. So week 1 will be on vision. Week 2 will be on training your brain to get what you want. Week 3 will be on how to surrender the how. And then week 4 will be on really fine tuning this whole process. So we'll start with a little bit of a lesson on that, and I'll teach you everything I know about where people make the biggest mistakes and how to get over those mistakes. And then we're going to do actual coaching, hot seat coaching. So anyone who is able to join live in those trainings, you're going to get a chance to actually ask me to help you fine tune your situation, your question about, any one of these things. And then after that hot seat coaching portion, we're going to do a hypnosis session. So we're going to, I told you, your subconscious mind already knows all of these things. So you can go try to figure out what it already knows, or you can drop into a very relaxed, very meditative, very normal state and find out what your subconscious already knows. We're going to get your vision. We're going to get what you really want, what you deeply, like, in your heart and soul need on week 1. We're going to get what do you actually want. On week 2, going to show you how to train your brain to notice that in your environment and bring it to you, how to attract it, how to get into that current of abundance. And abundance meaning anything you want. Abundance is wealth, but it's also relationships, and it's also just health and happiness. And anything that you want, you can train your brain to get it for you. And we'll do that in hypnosis in that 2nd week. In the 3rd week, we're going to talk about surrender. We're going to talk about, that ability to hold the vision, hold the goal without needing to direct where it comes from. So what you will experience, there we go. What you'll experience in this workshop, I've got the QR code up here for you. If you want to snap a picture of that and see more details on the page. I'm going to give the actual link later in case you're not near somewhere you can do that. It'll be remixcoach.com/limitless, but that'll be up on the screen in a minute. But if you come here and experience this with me, you're going to get, rapid results, right? Like I talked about, it's going to be so much quicker than trying to effort this on your own. We're going to be able to get you directly to what is that thing that I want, just by the time you save not going after something you actually don't want, right? It's going to get you where you want to be quicker. We're going to train your brain to notice that moonwalking bear, and that's going to make it faster than having to go find one yourself, right? All these things. You're going to get clarity and focus. All hypnosis helps you learn to quiet the noise, helps you maintain that thinking process that we talked about, where, you're not having those automatic thoughts, and you're able to kind of pick your response a little bit better, a little bit easier. You're going to get your energy and time back. You're going to break free from that exhaustion. Oh my gosh, it is so hard to just continue going after what you want. Even when it's easy, it's hard, right? We all have those days. And so anything you can do to make it easier, make it less exhausting, and make it more exciting to your subconscious mind is going to help you just do it easier and quicker. Like I said, you're going to get those hypnosis sessions. You're going to get, 4 sessions with me in those Sunday meetings, as well as that targeted coaching. So you're going to get everything that, my private clients get with me in these sessions every week in September. Personalized guidance to make sure that you are getting this, the results that you want. I'm also giving a bonus, anybody who joins me before Sunday. Sunday's the first day, of course, like I said, of the workshop. I believe I'm going to close it on Sunday. That's my plan. But anybody who joins before then is going to get an additional bonus of 3 months of access to my self-hypnosis library. So these are recordings that I've made. My clients talk about how this really makes the difference between just getting a little bit of kind of clarity and really locking it in. So we talked about training your brain. I told you my story about that cassette tape that I listen to every night. I promise you will, if you're not sleeping well, these will help you fall asleep. All of my friends, I'm slowly training everyone who knows me to fall asleep to my voice. It's a bad social strategy, but it is a very, very good thing for you. But there is new stuff in the library every week. So we have meditations in there for health and healing. We have meditations in there for overthinking and calming your mind. Anxiety. I've accidentally become an extreme anxiety specialist. And so there's a ton in there that help any form of anxiety. I love doing that, but it was accidental. So love that. There are just journeys like, walk through a forest or, hang out on a beach, kind of things like that. There's a 5-minute body scan in there that you can do when you need a quick lunchtime reset. There's a sleep hypnosis that takes you through, it handles, can't fall asleep, can't stay asleep, wake up, falling asleep, back again real fast, and waking up full of energy, all of those things covered in my sleep recording. So when you join this program, not only are you going to get these 4 weeks with me, but you are going to get 3 months of this self-hypnosis library so that you can use these on your own every night, whenever you want, to really lock in everything that you want to accomplish in your life. Even better, because this is for LEAP, I've got a special coupon code for you. So, y'all, this is an absolute, this is the lowest price I've ever done for anything. Instead of $197, this whole 4 weeks, you can get it with coupon code LEAP for $111. Now, that is less than half of a single session with me. You can pay more than double that to do this one time with me, or you can get in on this 4 weeks with this coupon code for LEAP for just $111 for the whole program. That includes, that's 3 months of access to the self-hypnosis library, which is $99 on its own. So this is my kind of gift to the LEAP community, because I know we are all ambitious women who are trying to do big things, and we all know that our biggest roadblocks are ourselves. It's ourself, it's our mind. Let's get over that, right? Let's make this easy and let's get over that. So you can join me before Sunday at this special price using the coupon code LEAP. So there's a QR code there again. It is at remixcoach.com/limitless. I hope you'll decide to join me. This is going to be so much fun. I'm really excited for it. If you have any other questions about it, do feel free to reach out and ask me. If you can't make the lives, yes, there'll be recordings, if there's 1 week or something that doesn't matter for you. There's more details on the site too. If you are not sure whether this is the right place for you to start, if you go to that website, there's also a link to book a 15-minute call with me. I would love to just hop on a call and you can tell me your exact situation. I can tell you if this is the right place for you to start, or if maybe there's something better for you. And lastly, I will just pop up all the different ways you can get a hold of me. So this has been so much fun. I thank you, Whitney, for hosting me, and Colleen. You guys are fantastic. I love being part of the LEAP community. You can find me on Instagram at Remix Coaching or at remixcoach.com. My email's there as well.
Awesome. So awesome, Andi. I think you have such a great way of relating this to concepts that we know and understand, because a lot of people really don't, we don't really know what's happening with hypnosis. So being able to relate it to what we already understand works. And yeah, what you said about how we compartmentalize and we're really good in some areas and not so good in other areas. Yep.
I still find it myself, right? I have coaches, multiple coaches. I love them. And once in a while, they'll be like, well, do you have a vision for that? And it's like, oh, I guess I don't, right? Well, how can you achieve anything if you don't have a vision for it, right? So, it's, even if you learn this is a constant study. And that is what I think is so much fun about it, is something like this 4 weeks that I'm going to do. It's even fun for me because every single time I go through it, I learn something new again. You can be working with this stuff, you can be working with the law of attraction, you can be a master manifester, but you can always go deeper. You can always deepen your understanding of the way that these principles work and the way that your subconscious mind works and what's in there, because new stuff it's not new stuff, it's old stuff, but it's new that you're remembering it, right? It's new that it's affecting you as you go through different experiences in your life. So there's always more work to be done on this end. And so
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to digging deeper.
Yeah. And I think with the third step, it's hard because we know that we do need to learn new skills and do new things and figure things out and have a plan and a strategy and take action. But I totally get what you're saying. Like, you need some of that, but we often go too far with it and then we sabotage. It's like for me, like dating and relationships is what I understand. And I
Yep.
get it. I've done it. I figured it out. And like, oh yeah, you have to have the intention. You have to know what you're looking for, the relationship you want. But you can't be so tight on like, no, I have to do the process and meet people and go on dates. And it's like, well, here's this guy that's your friend that's hitting on you that's like right there under your nose, like, hello. And I've actually had clients do that. It's like,
Well, and it's, relationships is a great example, right? Like that's one area where people do a pretty good job of coming up with like, this is what I think I want. But then they'll hold so tight to it that they don't, it's not like they prioritize that list or anything. Like it's just a set of check boxes. And it's like, okay, well, but what was your actual goal, right? Is your goal for the guy to hit the 6'4" mark, or is your goal to feel good in this relationship, right?
exactly.
So yeah, I think that's the biggest thing for me. I think we can all think of an area of our life where we do this. We do this naturally. There's no emotion attached to it so that we can kind of surrender like that. But you're absolutely right. There's a huge set of skills needed to balance that. Take inspired action from that point of your vision, but not holding on to it so tight that you allow it to kind of suffocate under your grasp.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel that.
Yeah. So do I.
Marissa, did you have anything that you wanted to share or questions or any words for Andi?
I think that you're a great inspiration, and I look forward to going forward with you in the future, and this is going to be great.
Absolutely.
Yay. All right. I'm going to